And welcome back to another episode of Massholes with Mikes, the Week 4 picks episode. Man, I mean, there are a lot of games on the slate. There are some decent ones early in the day, and I think a decent, an all right one later with two blue blood franchises going at it with Pittsburgh and Green Bay. But we all know that everybody's just trying to build up to the big one. Tom Brady making his return to Foxborough on Sunday night. Thank you to Kyle for joining us, being able to find a break in his busy schedule to come back. The three of us held down the fort on Monday, at the day of breaking the fourth wall. That's when we recorded, and we just crapped all over the Patriots. We will get to the Brady game. We're going to allow Kyle to talk a little bit about that, only because he didn't really get to in our 10-question segment that we did last time. So, without further ado, we do have to start at the Thursday night game, and we'll go on. The Brady game will be last, but we do want to build up to the best parts of it as we go. So, without further ado, Kyle, take it away.
All right, Jeremy, thank you for having me back. It's good to be back here again. Obviously, I was off earlier this week, but, the night shift calls when the night shift calls, but it's all right. I survived. I do agree with you. Not the most exciting slate of games for the second week in a row, which is kind of tough. I feel like there really haven't been a ton of – I feel like we've agreed a lot early on because there haven't been a lot of, split even games. And this first one I think might fall right into that category. We have the Washington football team, our first game of the week, because we already all picked the Bengals. First game of the week, Washington facing off against Atlanta. Atlanta, who got their first win last week against the lowly old Giants. Jordan, would you like to lead on here?
So the football team against the Falcons, yeah, I'm going to take the football team to bounce back. The Falcons, I'm not picking them 2 weeks in a row. Are you kidding me? I'm riding out on my high.
As a collective show, I feel like we're just not great at picking the Giants, which I'm going to blame on the Giants and not on us.
That's fair.
Jaclyn?
I'm also going to pick the football team. Is it in Atlanta?
Yes.
Okay, that doesn't really matter. I was just curious. I'm still picking the football team.
All right, yeah, I mean, I'm going to be taking them as well.
I am going to be taking the Falcons in the upset.
Whoa.
I think the football team's defense is incredibly overrated. They really haven't shown much to start the year, and they got waxed against Buffalo last week. I think that the Falcons can go and pull this one out and do a classic Falcons where they win a game that they're not supposed to win. They build up a little bit of hope. Maybe people think, oh, man, they could make it like a seventh seed run, a nice little wild card berth, and then they get absolutely destroyed for the next 3 games. So this is going to be the one that they win.
Well, good for them. Very happy for them. Moving on to the next one, we have Houston, and I believe still Davis Mills. Tyrod Taylor is not back yet. That's a shame, because we could have seen Tyrod Taylor face off against one of his understudies, as you may will, Josh Allen. We have the Texans and the Bills. Jaclyn, would you like to lead us off here?
I really think that anyone would be a little silly to take the Texans in this situation, especially going into Buffalo. In that regard, I will be taking Buffalo. There's no way the Texans are going to go into Buffalo and win.
Yeah, I'm going to have to follow suit there and take the Bills in this one as well. I'm not going to have to say a lot so far, which I guess is pretty good.
Triple down on the Bills. The Texans don't stand a chance. They may cover, actually, but they're definitely not winning.
What's the spread?
I have no idea, but it's probably a lot.
I just know. I think it was 17.
The Texans have been pretty decent covering, which everyone thought that they were going to get blown out. So in most of their games this year. So by comparison, that looks pretty good. But overall, not great for the Houston franchise.
The spread is 17.
The spread was 17.
Yeah, no, maybe they cover. I don't know.
They might. You never know.
Nice little garbage time touchdown.
34-17 final. I don't know. Honestly, probably not. The Bills, ever since week 1, where they just looked completely inept, have completely rebounded and are looking very convincing.
Yeah. I'm gonna take the Texans the Bills, and I think they are going to cover, and then so that's gonna be a mollywhopping.
Hey, fair enough. Well, moving on to the next matchup, we have a matchup of what would have been a very exciting matchup between Jared Goff and Andy Dalton, but instead we have 2 quarterbacks that have been struggling, Jared Goff and Justin Fields. Justin Fields, I don't know if you guys talked about it on Monday. What a debut for that kid. Justin Tucker's late field goal to actually beat the Lions ended up generating more yards of offense than the Bears' offense did the entire game last week.
1 yard.
So
1 net passing yard.
So it's going to be interesting. I'm not really sure who I'm going to take in this one. I'm really leaning towards Chicago because I think they're a better team. But at the same time, like, is Justin Fields going to give you that poor of an offensive performance? I really don't think that it's going to happen. I mean, Jordan already wrote in the Bears before I even finished making my pick.
Sorry.
I was still on the fence, but I guess you know what? I'll just roll with the Bears. I trust you here. I think at least in the running game they might. No, but they don't even have a better running game. God, I don't even know who's going to win this game.
No, I apologize. I jumped the gun big time on that.
I mean, because I was kind of just saying words because I was trying to think in my head. I was like, but the offensive line, but the defense. I'm going to take the Bears just because I think their defense is better. That's what I'm settling on. Maybe Justin Fields will be able to unlock it a little bit against. Well, I guess they didn't play a good defense last week either. Oh man, I don't even know. This is so hard.
The Browns are better.
Oh no, okay, no. The Browns are good. For some reason, I thought they were playing the Bengals. That was the week before, I believe. So yeah, I'm taking the Bears. Jeremy, you go. Shut me up.
Don't worry, I got you. So this has been a bone of contention between me and my roommate for the past 3 days now. We recorded on Tuesday I was a guest on his NFL podcast where he talked about how Dan Campbell and company are going to absolutely dismantle the Bears this week. And on principle alone, because I hate Dan Campbell, I think he eats tire irons for breakfast. He has no intelligence whatsoever, and he doesn't deserve to be an NFL head coach. So on that principle alone, I'm going to be taking the Bears. They have the better defense. Kyle's absolutely right. And I think in a matchup of two pretty anemic offensive units, whoever has the better defense is going to win. Khalil Mack's got to get home a couple of times against that good Lions offensive line, but I think he can do it, and I think the Bears are going to pull it out.
Jordan.
So this is going to be contingent on who's playing quarterback. Has it been officially announced that Fields is starting?
I don't believe it has been.
Okay.
It's Dalton Fields or Foles, according to Matt Nagy. He doesn't know which one of the three.
If Fields is starting, because of how moronic the coaching staff and the offensive game plan has been, I'm going to take the Lions. So I will initially roll with the Lions on that premise.
No, Jordan, you got to. Okay.
If Andy
so
Dalton starts,
do I put the Lions in on the graphic though?
Yes, you can put the Lions on the graphic. But if
right.
Justin Fields, if it's Andy Dalton starting, I'm going to, again, just say in the comments, I'll be like, I've made this contingency on the podcast. If Dalton starts, it'll be the Bears. If Fields starts, it'll be the Lions, because I don't think they are prepared, the Bears, that is, to actually compete with him at quarterback. And it's not his fault. It's just the Bears are stupid.
This is true.
Fair enough. Jaclyn, are you going to make a definitive pick, or are you going to put a contingency on it?
No, I'm making a definitive pick, and I think that this is a battle of two terrible head coaches. So
Agreed.
That's really going to be, I think this is the tie watch game of the week. And
I was considering taking the tie.
Would be literally like 7-7. Like, it would be like a disgusting low score. I am going to take the Bears just because, like, I just think it's so funny how close the Lions get to winning every single week, and then something goes wrong. And I just picture, Jared Goff about to throw, then gets a strip sack at, like, their own 20, and then the Bears win. Like, that would be what would happen, So, I'm taking the Bears.
Personally, the goofball has been fairly decent this year, which I was very surprised by.
I mean, and to be fair, last week they probably should have won that game. I mean, that has to be the worst way, I think, or the most unlucky way to lose a football game, where the kicker breaks the record by 3 yards, and he doesn't. It's not even like he cleared it. Like there was a chance it hit the post. There was a chance it could have missed.
It was a double doink.
And also, on top of that, they had a 4th and 19 that the Ravens got, 34 yards on? So it's like they had a chance to close it.
I will say,
and then
Lamar,
they choked and still had a chance to win that.
Lamar has looked like a better passer this year already, even though I think last game I would chop that more up to a case of the drops from his receivers, because I believe Hollywood Brown dropped 3 touchdowns in that game, which is always hard for me to see because I have to defend him. So it's very difficult. He really looked like N'Keal Harry out there. It was tough. Moving on.
Drop passes.
He just doesn't get them.
He doesn't drop the ball.
He just doesn't get targets. Moving on to the next one, we have the somehow 3-0 Panthers being led by Sam Darnold and now Chuba Hubbard. I believe it's not Chuba, not Chuba.
Yes, Chuba Hubbard. So
Chuba Hubbard, yes, an unfortunate member of Oklahoma State. So not a huge fan of his, but good for him. Glad he's succeeding. And it was funny because the kid that had his kid drafted Chuba Hubbard in my fantasy league, cut him after the first week, and then somehow managed to get him up again on the waivers. So you got bailed out that time, buddy. He'll be facing off against Dallas, whose running back Zeke Elliott seems to have finally woken up, of course, and for me to talk more about myself. Enough for me to lose in one of my fantasy games, and not enough for me to win in another of my fantasy games. So thanks, Zeke. Really don't like you. And I believe Jeremy, you're leading on this one.
Sure, I'll go. I'm not completely sold on the Panthers. I don't know about you guys. I understand that they picked up C.J. Henderson to replace J.C. Horn. But, I mean, at the end of the day, it is definitely Patriots bias talking here, but I can't get it out of my head that Sam Darnold is the starting quarterback for a team, and they're having success. It just doesn't seem right. Therefore, I think the undefeated streak comes to an end in Dallas on Sunday. I really like what I'm seeing from the Cowboys. Again, something I did not think I was going to be saying at the start of the year. I thought Dak would take longer to come back from his injury, and I thought that defense would be a lot worse than it is. I've been very impressed. I'm scary that I'm saying that. But I'm going to take the Cowboys to win this game going away and hand the Panthers their first loss of the season.
Jordan?
The Cowboys, kind of sick. They're pretty good. I mean, they won the last two games, and then they almost beat the Bucs in the season opener. They're pretty good. Their defense is better than I thought it would be. Ezekiel Elliott lost a ton of weight. He looks much smaller, and Tony Pollard's still the best running back on that team. But he's really good. So Zeke was playing well against the Eagles as well. I'm going to take the Cowboys to win this game. I'm still # keep pounding at heart, though. The Panthers are going to make the playoffs this year, but they're not going to win on Sunday.
Jaclyn?
Yeah, I'm also going to take the Cowboys, but I do have hope for the Panthers. I've always kind of liked the Panthers. I don't know why. I just think that their uniforms are cool. Their, motto is cool. They have really cool AI and have you seen that Panther video? I don't know. It's just cool. They're just a cool team.
That is a pretty cool video.
They have Gustavo Bo on their team.
Yeah. But Christian McCaffrey is not playing. And he is the Panthers. So once he's back, I'll have more hope for them, but without him and without J.C. Horn, sorry, bros. I'm going to go with the Cowboys.
Yeah, I'm gonna round this one off and say, how about them Cowboys? I don't think the Cowboys are gonna be winning this game. Mostly just, and I like what I've seen from Donald, but I agree, losing Horn, losing McCaffrey. I mean, Hubbard's decent, but overall, it's not looking great for them. Moving on to the next matchup, I believe we have Jacoby Brissett returning to his old stomping ground. Or no, his old team is coming to his stomping grounds because this game is in Miami. The surprising, I would say, 0-3 Colts facing off against the 1-2 Jacoby Brissett-led Miami Dolphins. Jordan, who do you have riding in this one?
I think Indy gets off the schneid this week. I don't like the Dolphins, period, but with Jacoby Brissett at quarterback, I don't think he's really... I don't even know where to put him in terms of how I feel about him versus Tua. Is he any better?
I was
Probably
just about
not.
to ask you that.
Is he worse? I don't really think he is. He doesn't turn the ball over. He actually goes through his reads, but he's really not a very talented quarterback either. I'm going to take the Colts this week. I think they're going to get off the schneid and start piecing together some impressive victories.
Jaclyn?
Who is starting at quarterback for the Colts? Is it Carson Wentz?
Wentz right now. But I did see Sam Ehlinger is back at practice, Kyle.
I feel like at this point Carson Wentz is doing a weekend
back.
at Bernie's. Like he's not actually his legs aren't working. They just have people out there moving them for him.
Yeah,
and also I did appreciate that reference, Jordan.
I just don't. He broke both his ankles, so I feel like he shouldn't be starting. But they have no other quarterbacks, so I'm gonna take Miami. I think that the Colts, as long as Carson Wentz is the quarterback, they will struggle to win a game because he's a mobile quarterback and he can't run because both of his ankles are sprained. Also, how funny is it that he sprained not one but two ankles?
There's really only one person in the league that would happen to, and it would be him.
Exactly.
Carson Wentz.
Maybe Tyrod Taylor, but he was already hurt, so he couldn't sprain both ankles.
That's fair.
Yeah, if there was a headline that said unnamed NFL player sprains both ankles in loss, you would if you had to guess,
I would guess it would be Wentz.
He's at the top of the list. Let's be honest.
It's tough.
Dalton would probably be up there too.
Who? Sorry.
Dalton.
Andy Dalton would probably be up there
I could see
too.
that.
Yeah,
sure.
I could see that too. I'm gonna go next here.
Maybe Big Ben now.
Yeah, maybe. I'm going to take the Colts only because I think that their weapons, at least on offense and defense, should be better than the Dolphins. And regardless of who's playing at quarterback, like if they can get a good lead going early, like Michael Pittman's been pretty solid to start this season. Get a couple I'm sure Eason can complete, like if he has to play, a couple passes to Pittman, maybe get them in the end zone, and then they can just switch to just running the ball because they have one of the deepest, I think, running back rooms in the entire NFL right now. So if they can just get that running game unlocked, I'm sure they'll end up being fine. Jeremy, round us off.
I was looking at this game, and I did something for the first time. I decided to write down my picks beforehand as to who I was going to take in these games. I like to go gut feeling in a lot of these, even though I know kind of who I'm picking for the most part going in. This was by far the toughest game for me to pick. I think both of these teams equally suck. I'm surprised that Indy is 0-3. I thought they'd be better, which is why I'm going to roll with them. I think that makes it a 3-1 split on this one, because I think, Jordan, you took the Colts, correct?
Yes.
Okay,
So that means
it
the
is a
Dolphins are
3-1
going to win.
split. Yeah, basically. I don't know why I'm so bullish on Indy, because it's a franchise that I just don't like, but they should be better than this.
It's
I
because
don't know
they have
why
Rhodes.
they're so bad. Nah, that's definitely not it. But I mean, their secondary has gotten cooked so far this year, so maybe. Who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, now we have the next matchup. I believe we
I already
have.
know how this matchup is going. I just know.
I believe we have Kevin Stefanski making his first return back to Minnesota. I think. I don't know if they played there last year or not.
No, they haven't.
But
No.
so maybe the guy that the Vikings might be mad that they let go, even though the Vikings did win last week. I was asleep for all the 4:00 games, but good for the Vikings. Happy for you, Jeremy. Off the mark. Mike Zimmer stays in his job. So yeah, we have the Browns and the Vikings. I believe Jaclyn is leading on this one, so we already know who she's taking.
Yeah, I am indeed taking the Browns. I will not be picking against them this year. I also think that they're a better team than the Vikings, so.
Yeah, I'm also going to take the Browns as well. I just think that they've been a little bit more consistent this year, which is kind of weird to say, but I still don't really know what I'm going to get from the Vikings yet. Even when the Browns, I feel like it's even kind of weird to say the Browns have been consistent, but they've at least haven't been awful. They've been good enough in pretty much every game they've played.
But they've been underwhelming, have they not?
I mean, they've definitely been underwhelming, yeah, but they've still
Their
been at least.
Their defense got me 18 points in fantasy last week, so.
That's because
Myles Garrett was absolutely chewing.
I know. It's
just eating.
It's not.
Sacks.
4.5.
Myles Garrett got matched up against 39-year-old Jason Peters all day. Of course, your defense got you 18 fantasy points. There's no that's not a shock.
Woo!
The Chicago offensive line is a bunch of turnstiles. So I mean, Jordan,
You get to go here. I know
I
you're
get
gonna
to start
take.
with the two of us, but I've been trying to talk myself into picking the Vikings in this game all week, and I texted about this on Monday, if you guys remember. I go, just when I thought I was going to go and pick against the Vikings for the rest of the year, they pull out a win in Seattle against Seattle, which they haven't done since 2009, by the way. Shocking that it's been that long. And then now I'm starting to believe a little bit again, which is a problem. I'm going to be taking the Vikings in this game. They're at home. They're playing. I think they've played better than the Browns this year. They have not won more games than the Browns this year, obviously. But the Browns, I mean, I have not only watched a Browns game yet. They have yet to be in prime time. I've been watching them kind of duel with Red Zone. They have not been the Browns that I expected them to be. I thought they were going to be rolling over. I have said multiple times that they are the best roster in football. I thought they were going to be rolling.
Also hurt.
I was getting to that because that's another reason I think the Vikings have a slight advantage in this game.
Beckham Jr. is going to be back.
That doesn't mean a whole lot to me. I think he's over. I think Jarvis Landry is a better wide receiver than Odell Beckham Jr. I think that without Landry there, it kind of thins that wide receiving core a little bit, which the Vikings secondary needs all the help it can get. So if Jarvis Landry isn't going to be there, that is a good thing. Dalvin Cook is expected to be back. Off a week of rest, he usually looks pretty sharp as long as he's healthy. I mean, it's foot problem, whatever. But Kirk Cousins has been playing like an MVP candidate, and that's the main reason that I'm going to be taking the Vikings in this game. Kirk Cousins is going to outduel Baker Mayfield in the battle of the national media doesn't really like them quarterbacks, and the Vikings are going to win the game.
In the battle of just absolutely just like middle of the road white guys.
Yep. Seriously.
Yeah.
They're not good enough to get you all the way, but they're definitely not bad enough to get you a good draft pick.
Agreed.
Jordan,
so
would you like to take against Baker here?
Jaclyn's 150% correct when she says the Browns on paper are better. They are a more consistent team than the Vikings,
There we go, Jordan. There we go.
which is precisely why the Vikings are going to win.
Yes.
I mean, it's like this is what happened last week. After I picked the Seahawks to win that game, I spent the next 3 days kicking myself in the ass because I'm like, of course the Vikings are going to end up winning this game, and I think that's going to be exactly what happens this week. It's a game that they shouldn't win. They're not the better team. I know they're home, but the Browns are so much better on paper, which is precisely why the Vikings will somehow win and keep Mike Zimmer employed.
Having watched the Vikings since, call it not diehard, that's not the right word for it, but having watched them avidly since about 2015, that Teddy Bridgewater year where Blair Walsh missed the kick against the Seahawks, I've watched this team absolutely crap the bed in games that you thought that they would win easily and perform well in games that you thought they had no business being in. This feels like one of those games. It might not be, but I'd rather ride with the team instead of coming off a back of me saying Mike Zimmer will be fired after a blowout loss last week. I got to kind of redeem myself a little bit.
Totally fair. Moving on to the next one, we have the Giants and the Saints, the matchup of two of the best mobile quarterbacks. We have Jameis Winston and Daniel Jones. Wait, excuse me, sorry, I got that wrong. We have the Giants who are I believe still 0-3, coming off of a tough loss to the Falcons, and we have the Saints who, I mean, as we all know, absolutely drubbed the Patriots. So that was fun. Congrats on getting your picks right, Jeremy and Jordan. I'm going first on this one, and I think the Saints are going to make it 2 in a row here. Do not believe in the Giants whatsoever, especially now that they lost. I believe they lost Sterling Shepard and another one of their wide receivers, so I always forget. Is it Slayton? Is that his name? The guy who had that epic drop? Yeah, so he's out as well. I don't know how long they're out, so that leaves them with Kenny Golladay and Saquon, because I'm not going to count Tony and Engram as actual weapons because they're both pretty useless. Do you know that all of us have more career receiving yards than Kadarius Toney or whatever his name is?
Not anymore. He did have like 19 last week or something.
I thought he had -2.
No, he did entering last week.
Oh, well,
he had a couple of receptions.
Well, good for him. I'm happy to hear that for him. But, they don't really have the weapons anymore now that they're down 2 of their receivers. So, roll on the Saints. The Saints are looking sharp.
Upset special of the week. The Giants are heading into NOLA and beating the Saints. The Saints have a lot on their mind coming home for the first time in a month. This team is very Jekyll and Hyde. I think that they saw that with the Panthers kind of shellacking them in Carolina. Leonard Williams is going to get after the quarterback with Teron Armstead week to week, and the Giants are going to win the game against all odds, and then Joe Judge will get another couple of years in charge of the Giants, and Jason Garrett will stay around too, and Freddie Kitchens. And that coaching staff, the more I look at it, gets more hilarious by the day. That is an absolutely hysterical coaching staff. English is hard. Joe Judge, Jason Garrett, Freddie Kitchens. That is awesome.
They really looked at it and were like, who's really underperformed over the last couple of years that we can hire as a coordinator? Adam Gase is going to be their coach when they fire Joe Judge. Like that's the only way that it could possibly go. It'll be Gase, Garrett, and Kitchens.
And I sent this to Kyle and Jordan the other day in one of our other group chats, but the Adam Gase curse is real. There's a bunch of different things where when Adam Gase leaves, the team that he immediately left just has a ton of success. I think it was LSU wins a national championship. There was Sam Darnold is 3-0 following his first season after leaving Adam Gase. There was something else. I'm going to go find the thing with Jordan talks.
High school won a state championship.
Oh, that's even better. The Adam Gase effect is real, and it is hysterical. Let's see. Okay, hang on. LSU
Jordan, you're up,
title,
though.
Peyton Manning. Yeah, there's a bunch of different ones. Sorry.
This is the prime, like, Jameis Winston is going to turn back into Jameis Winston game. Because last week, we've seen it in the 2 games. He had clean ones with the Packers and the Patriots games. There were a lot of throws he put up there that were just moronic.
Ducks.
So dumb. Somehow either
cannot believe he scored that one touchdown
of Callaway or just somehow hitting the turf. For some godforsaken reason, the Giants are going to be able to pick off at least 3, and the Giants are going to win.
Oh, jeez. I thought I was going to be the only one going with this.
By the way, Jeremy,
what did you eat today that made you get absolutely, brain mush?
It has been a long week, if I'm being honest.
No,
My brain is somewhat
winning
mush.
This game. There's no way that the Saints don't win. They haven't played a home game.
I'll remember that.
They are coming back into a community that is suffering right now. There's no way that they don't pick this crowd up on their backs and win this game. I don't care
but the thing is,
what the stats say. I don't care what the stats say. The Saints are winning this game.
Are Jameis's eyeballs good enough where he won't lift up a Giants fan though instead of a Saints fan.
That's true. You might be looking at the wrong people in the stands.
Or he can lift up
eyeballs
everyone,
fixed.
and it will be a tie.
That's fair. That is fair.
That's true. Then the Saints won't win the game. Then Jaclyn's going to have to eat her words on that one because it would be a tie.
Normally when any of us, but especially when all of us say there's no chance one team wins a game, they end up winning the game.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So that's why when Jaclyn said that, I'm like, I feel a little bit better about picking the Giants now.
Do you guys
There's no
remember
chance
what
the
we-
Pats are winning this week. There's no chance the Pats are winning
No-
this
no
week.
chance
There's
at
no
all.
chance. There's no chance.
Not a chance.
Patriots are winning
Did
this
you?
week.
I mean, you guys. We don't have to look too far back to see evidence of that. We all crapped on the Ravens in that Sunday night game, and they won. So
Yeah, no.
it's not one of our finer moments.
Especially
as a
me,
group.
who picked them to win the Super Bowl preseason.
To be fair though, it's people love it when everyone is so sure in something and then it does not happen. So that's better
True.
for the
That's
brand.
why they meme the Sunday
Better
night crew.
content.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. All right. Well, moving on to the next one, we have the Corey Davis revenge game. We have the Jets facing off against the Titans. Jets still hunting for their first win. The Titans looking like they're back in the full swing of things. Jeremy, who do you got in this one?
Titans. Enough said. Jordan.
I think there's about to be a revolt against Zach Wilson because apparently his O-line is dumb and they think that their issues are 100% Zach Wilson holding the ball too long. So the Titans are going to win by 612 points.
Jaclyn?
Titans.
Yeah, Titans. Clean sweep. Moving on to the next one, which I think will also be a clean sweep. We have we have the Chiefs, who are 1-2. Who could have seen this? We have
I
two
love this so
two
much.
bottom-feeding teams in their respective. Well, I guess now the Giants are worse, but versus Jaclyn just flushed the deuce away. Hurts and the Eagles. Do you think Jalen's gonna have to flush another deuce away, or do you think he's just gonna pee? Who knows?
Not sure.
Jordan,
think
you start.
I think he's just going to pee.
That was
but I
that
think
was
they're gonna
that
lose
was
the
bad.
game.
I'm sorry. I couldn't think of something. I was on the spot.
I think he's just going to pee because they're supposed to get blown out in this game, and I think it'll be closer than it should be. But the Chiefs are by far better. They're really looking bad right now, but they're still at their worst, probably better than Philly at their best. At their best is a win against the Falcons. Ooh, good job.
Ooh. Jaclyn.
Kansas City. But also, I told all of you that the Chargers were going to win, and they did. Ha, ha, ha.
Sorry, I forgot that Mike.
You act like we're Chiefs fans. This was good for us. We
I forgot
liked
that
watching
Mike-
them lose.
I forgot Mike Williams is becoming the second incarnation of Randy Moss this year.
And
Yeah,
I
how
have
could-
him
how could
on
we
my
been so
fantasy
silly?
team.
Yeah, who could have seen that coming? I'm picking up next. If there's one team that you would really want to play when you're in desperate need of a win, it would be a team from the NFC East, particularly a team like the Eagles or the Giants. The Chiefs get to play the Eagles this week. The Chiefs will win.
Chiefs. It's sad, but Jordan's logic is absolutely sound. Where the Chiefs at their worst, far better than the Eagles at their best, and it's not particularly close.
100% true. Moving on to the next one, I believe Jaclyn's picking first on this one. It's I would say probably one of the better games this week outside of the actually. Now that I'm looking at it, like the next couple games, pretty much all the rest of the games on our slate are looking pretty good that we have
And I
to
believe
pick.
all of these following ones, including the one we're about to talk about, are the 4 o'clock games. So that late window will be exciting.
It's going to be fantastic. And then the first of the late window games that we're going to talk about, yeah, because Kansas City normally always plays at 1 o'clock.
They're in Philly too.
They're in Philly. Makes even more sense. This next matchup, it's their first divisional matchup, I believe, for these two teams. We have Kyler and the Cardinals facing off against Stafford and the Rams, two red-hot teams. Jordan, congrats on getting the Rams and that one last week. Jaclyn, you're going to lead here.
I'm so torn because
I'm
I
not.
really don't know if the Rams are going to lose a game, but I feel like the Cardinals would be a team that could feasibly beat the Rams. So I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm going to go with the Cardinals. It's my heart, not my head.
Well, you guys already know who I'll be picking, and since we have cameras, I can do this now and use props.
And for the people listening, Kyle is holding up a Kyler Murray jersey and waving it proudly because he is a Sooner fan. Yep. now he
Boomer,
kissed him.
baby.
He kissed
Yeah. I will put some
he
logic into
chucked
it,
it.
though. I definitely think that the Rams are going to win this game, but I will be picking the Cardinals just because I don't think with my head when I'm mostly picking, my favorite Oklahoma player of all time.
Jordan, you go first here. I want to see what you say.
I think the Rams are nasty. I think they're the second best team in the NFC. I still think the Bucs are better. The Bucs just somehow had no finish to their game and dropped a couple of picks last week. That being said, I also am kind of leaning towards the Cardinals this week. It just seems like even though Matt Stafford looks legit this year, he has the tendency to play at an MVP level for a while. And then just every once in a while there's that one game where he just sucks out of nowhere in a game that he really shouldn't, because I don't think the Cardinals secondary is that good.
No, they're not. Byron Murphy got a pick 6 last week, but it was against Lawrence.
My gut is telling me to go with the Cardinals, but with my Rams in the Super Bowl prediction from preseason, I'm going to stick with the Rams because I think at the end of the day, they're just a little bit better, even if Stafford isn't playing up to par. So I will stick with the Rams, but it's very close.
I was hoping you were going to go with the Cardinals because
I wanted to badly, but
I have the
couldn't.
Cardinals
My heart
written
wasn't in
down
100%.
right now, but I'm a little bit surprised that Jaclyn picked them. I knew Kyle was going to, so I thought that I was going to get a split. But I don't know if I want to go and hand you another pick for free here.
Don't
I've already
pick
taken
don't pick
I've
for the
taken
picks.
I've taken a couple of chances on the Giants and the Falcons so far. I'm going to take the Rams. I think they are the better team. But I am going to be rooting for the Cardinals. Don't worry, Kyle. I'll be very happy if the Cardinals win.
Woohoo! It's all right.
This
I won't
also
even be able to. I won't be watching the game anyway. I'll still be at work.
It
At least
will
the
keep
first half.
alive my take. I have the November, I think it's 11th game between the Panthers and the Cardinals will be the matchup of the last two undefeated teams, and one team will walk away. I think that could be very interesting, despite the fact that I picked Dallas. I kind of want that take.
Could you,
didn't even pick
I want
them.
that take to. Well, McCaffrey getting hurt kind of put a wrench in that. But
That would be a
I
pretty
made it
fun,
a couple weeks ago.
pretty fun undefeated matchup. Who would have seen that coming?
Especially since I may be going to it because I'm in Arizona.
Hell yeah.
Ooh.
And especially because
point.
Cliff Kingsbury is the coach of one of those teams. Oh, wait, actually, now that I'm realizing it, that matchup will be fun. It's two former Big 12 coaches.
Yeah,
You
Matt
got
Rule. That's a
Matt
good point.
Rule and Cliff Kingsbury. Two guys that both could not beat Oklahoma, so they went to the NFL. Moving on to the next one. Wow, wait, it's actually just two divisional matchups in the NFC West this week. That's kind of crazy.
Yep.
We have the Seahawks facing off against the Niners. The Niners who lost last week, which I picked. I was very happy to see them lose because I had a buddy in one of my group chats who was telling me I was an idiot for picking the Niners to lose. And look what happened to them. You left too
Did
much time on the clock,
anyone actually think
boys.
the Niners were going to win that game
I had
when
a
it
lot-
got down the stretch? When
Jaclyn
it got
picked the
down the
Niners.
stretch, Jaclyn, sorry. I didn't finish the statement there. When it got down the stretch and you saw that they were driving down the field and they snapped the ball with I think 13 seconds on the play clock to go and score a touchdown for no reason at all, you kind of knew that they weren't going to win the game. I don't know about you guys.
Can I say why I knew they weren't going to win?
Why?
Because they have Jimmy Garoppolo. On to the
That's a
next
good point. That's a good point. Anyway,
I'm
leading
leading on this one unless anyone
There
else
is no
has any.
counterpoint.
That's fair. Does anyone else have anything they want to add, or can I make my pick?
Just go.
Go ahead.
Seahawks. Niners stink.
Wow. Okay, that was not the logic I was expecting you to use. I'm gonna use the classic Seattle, San Francisco. Always good games. They
Oh,
have
yeah.
overtime games. They have nail biters. They have thrilling finishes. And the Seahawks have gotten the better of the Niners in games where they shouldn't have. And I think that it's gonna happen again. I think this Niners 2-1 record is incredibly paper thin. I think we all talked about it where we weren't very impressed with what the Niners did the first 2 weeks of the year. And then they lost last week against the Packers. So I'm going to pick them to even up their record at 2-2 by the end of Sunday.
I will say though, they did look better last week, even though they
they
weren't
did.
able to win. Like they definitely looked like they're going to be a much better team. I just kind of was in a mood to crap on the Niners. That's why I said they stink. They don't actually stink, but I just wanted to do that. Jordan,
Sorry, Jeremy, who did you pick again?
I picked the Seahawks.
Seahawks, okay. So I think both of these teams kind of stink a little bit.
Agreed.
I think the Seahawks stink a little bit more, and I'm going to take the Niners in this one. It'll be close, as all these games are between these two teams, but I think in the battle of Russell Wilson versus Jimmy Garoppolo, somehow, maybe backwards, Jimmy Garoppolo will end up winning, kind of like he almost did last week against the Packers by doing the Mac Jones and chucking it into the turf behind him.
Jaclyn, round us off.
Seahawks.
Easy.
This is going to make or break my lead this week.
Really
Good
is.
point. Jordan is leading overall in the picks.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think you said that in the intro.
No,
You
I
said-
forgot to do that. It's a good
Well,
point.
Thanks. My 14-2 week will just go unnoticed. I'm chopped liver.
Well, it's still not the best week someone has ever had, so
That is
fair
true.
enough.
You went 15-1 last year, one week. I
Yeah,
think?
Yep,
because
week
of
two.
because of the
They're
Raiders.
Raiders.
Well, moving on to the next one. This is another fun matchup. We have the still undefeated Denver Broncos facing off against the Baltimore Ravens, who barely scraped by, of course, as we mentioned earlier, against the Lions with possibly the greatest field goal kick of all time. I believe, Jeremy, you're leading on this one. Who do you have winning?
I have the Ravens coming out on top here. It gives me no joy to say that. I think the Broncos are one of the most flawed 3-0 teams, maybe ever, honestly. Congratulations, you beat the two mistakes that reside in East Rutherford, New Jersey, and the Jags. I mean, come on, guys. Is anyone really buying this 3-0 Broncos record? Kyle apparently is. Interesting. So maybe he will take the Broncos. I'm going to speak for myself and say that I think the Ravens still have the better roster despite all the injuries that they've endured throughout the first 3 weeks of the season and training camp. And I think that the Broncos are going to fall behind early and be unable to come back because of the loss of some of their weapons. KJ Hamler, friend of the show, Davis's favorite receiver ever, I believe, is now out with a torn ACL. You have Jerry Jeudy, who's gone for a while. You got Sutton and Patrick right now. We'll see what they can do. But
We're
I'm
both
gonna
on my
take
fantasy bench.
and Marlon Humphrey's covering one of them. So I'm going to take the
tight end
Ravens.
whose last name starts with like Hoog Banuam or whatever his name is.
Oh yeah, Ongwenabom or whatever.
Is
yeah.
is Noah
Albert
Fant
O.
injured?
Alberto, yeah.
I think he's still there. I think
Van's
he's still there.
too.
No.
Yeah.
I just wanted a reason to say that dude's name.
Hey, fair enough.
It's like Omanawa Nui again.
Well, Jordan, do you want to take Albert O and the Broncos? Because you're up next.
Nah. like Jeremy said, this is a very flawed 3-0 team. They haven't beaten a team with a win yet, let alone a winning record. And the Ravens, as flawed as they are going to win this one. They're going to win this one.
Jaclyn?
Well, this is the week they beat a team with a win because I am choosing the Broncos. I think that you are all forgetting where this game is being played in Mile High Stadium.
So Justin Tucker can make it from 72 now, is what I'm hearing. With the altitude.
No.
I mean, he might. We don't know.
He could. I'd let him try it.
Yeah, fair enough. And I'm going to round it off. I've been a big Browns. Well, I haven't been a Browns guy, but a big Broncos guy so far this year. I did forget, like, you reminded me that they have had such a cakewalk schedule. No duh that they're 3-0 right now. But I am going to take them in this game just because this is a prove-it one for me. Because you're right, they really have not played a team of any substance yet. But the Ravens have been really streaky, so you're not really sure what you're going to get from them so far. I mean, they almost lost to one of the worst teams in the league. And they should have been able to easily dispatch the Raiders, and they couldn't. And then, who knows, they go out and beat the Chiefs. So you really don't know what you're going to get from them. But I'm taking the Broncos, not because I really think they're going to win, because I want to see them win. I want to see if they can prove to me that they're actually going to be the sleeper team I said they would be.
Fair enough.
And then moving on to, as you previewed earlier at the start of the show, Jeremy, we have the clash of the old boys, the old Titans, the old gentlemen. We have we have Big Ben, who is looking like, he looks like he was died. He looked like he drowned
like
and was
an old
revived and sent back out onto the field to go play football, facing off against Aaron Rodgers. I was really hyping up just the fact these are two of the most historic franchises, and it's always fun. I would love to see if they could wear. Obviously, it wouldn't happen, but have the Packers wear the
Bumblebees versus the
blue and yellows. Like I feel like that would be fun, or maybe like a white and yellow for them, and then have the Bumblebees.
That would be so gross.
I feel like that would be pretty fun to watch. I don't know.
I hate the Bumblebee prisoner uniform looking. I hate those so much.
That's fair. I think you might just hate them just because of the Steelers uniforms.
That too. Real quick before we get into the actual picks, did you guys see Big Ben rolling out to the right, tripping on nothing and trying to throw? Oh, that was so funny.
I hate Ben Roethlisberger with every fiber of my being, but it hurts me watching how pathetic he is. Like,
he shouldn't be out on the field. He shouldn't be out on the field. Just go away.
Dwayne Haskins.
Go away.
Haskins time.
Is their backup.
All right, well, Jordan, you get to pick this one first. I think I might know where we're all going to go, though.
I'm picking the Steelers. I'm kidding. And I am 100% joking.
That's not very nice.
I am joking. It is going to be the Packers. I don't necessarily think the Packers are very good, but the Steelers are pathetic. So,
Jaclyn?
Packers.
Yeah.
Pack, go.
I'll also be taking the Packers. I think week 1, our theme was, in our week 1 recaps, it was to overreact, and I definitely overreact by saying that I thought the Steelers looked great. I mean, they did look good, but clearly that was just a flash in the pan.
Well,
I said
their entire defense got hurt.
Well, but
and
I was
Ben
also
Roethlisberger looks like a wet version of himself. I
But-
guess.
Like
That's
Will
what he
Ferrell.
said.
specifically though, I was praising Ben Roethlisberger and saying I thought that he looked better, and he is not
That
He's
Tommy
not lived
John
up.
didn't work there.
He has not lived up to
Roethlis
that.
cheeseburger at this point. The dude's absolutely cooked.
Yeah, seriously.
Ben
Good one.
Roethlis cheeseburger.
Medium rare.
Jordan, would you? Not Jordan.
Medium rare-less-burger. I don't know.
We have officially reached that point in the episode.
Jeremy, please end this.
So I'm looking at. I'm conflicted because I wanted to see if T.J. Watt was healthy, and he's a full participant in today's practice. Deontay Johnson full, Juju and Claypool were both limited. I guess
problem is Big
Roethlisberger was a
Ben
full
was a full
participant.
participant,
Yeah,
too.
that is a problem. So I will be. But so the problem is, you guys all know how much I hate the Packers, and that was the only thing that was kind of keeping me like, maybe the Steelers defense could pull one out of the hat. I will say I won't be surprised if the Steelers win this game, but I'm picking the Packers because who in God's name wouldn't with that just lump of clay sitting behind under center for the Steelers?
Exactly.
He
And
just
then
looks he looks like a burlap sack that just overflowed. The Michelin Man exploded his top half, and that's Ben Roethlisberger.
You know that episode of Jimmy Neutron where Carl has that alien that he's like pregnant, like he's got like the alien attached to his butt? That's
Yeah.
Big Ben. He's the alien attached to Carl Weezer's butt.
Oh man. Oh, God.
When you quote tweet this episode, when I put it out on Twitter tomorrow or Friday or
Find that
Saturday,
photo.
you have to say this is the embodiment of Ben Roethlisberger. See why, and then it's just like quote.
Yeah,
tweet
I need to find when Carl Weezer was at what would be considered 40 weeks gestation with that alien and be like, this.
Okay, now we
this
got to
is
move
Big
on.
Ben.
Yeah,
we're
moving
getting too
on.
wild.
No,
Mike, move on.
I continue. This isn't over.
All right, moving on to the Monday night game. So obviously we're going to pass over the Sunday night one, and who knows why we're going to do that. We have a fun matchup here between two teams I don't think a lot of people thought would have been, where they are right now. I mean, Jeremy certainly said this division was going to be competitive, and it's looking like a fantastic take. We have Vegas and the Raiders facing off against the Chargers. I believe Jordan's leading on this one.
No,
Jordan.
I went first last game.
So then Jaclyn.
I'm picking the Chargers. I was very impressed with their game last week against Kansas City. I think that Kansas City is a better team than the Raiders. I did my best. And
The Raiders.
thank you. And I just think that they're going to keep on rolling. My boy Justin Herbert. I love that man. I love this team. And I love the Chargers social media team as well. Highly recommend.
They do have a
checking
good
them
social
out.
media team.
They
Their TikTok
always
is very
post
solid.
memes, and it's incredible. Okay, that's my pick.
I'm going up next. I will be taking the Chargers. I've also been very impressed with them. I mean, their rookies are stepping up big time. I forget the name of their rookie tackle that they have, but he's looked pretty solid. Asante Samuel Jr. has been tearing up. He's got 2 interceptions so far.
I would have picked that one off in the Super Bowl as well.
Yeah, who knows?
The tackle is Rashawn Slater, by the way, Kyle.
Yeah, that's the name I saw. And Asante Samuel Jr. is looking good. Of course, they got my boy Kenny Murray. Loving what I've seen from him so far. My other favorite K Murray, who came through Oklahoma, absolute legend. But yeah, I'm taking the Chargers. Jeremy, you're gonna roll with your boy Derek Carr.
This is a statement game for the Raiders. The Raiders are going to win this game and surprise everybody because I don't think the majority of the public is going to be voting on. Is going to be picking the Raiders in this game. 9 out of 10 primetime writers when I made the graphics this week took the Chargers. I'm going to be taking the Raiders. I've been very impressed with their defense, most of all. I thought that was going to be Swiss cheese, and that was going to be the reason they lost games. But you know what? They can win blowouts if they need to because they have the big play weapons in Waller and Ruggs. But they have also shown this year that they can win close games, which is the important thing for me. I'm going to be taking the Raiders. I think it's an upset if I'm not mistaken because the game is in L.A. I don't know what the line is. But
I'll take a look.
I'm feeling good about Vegas in this game, which is weird. I don't think I've ever felt good about Vegas at all since they moved there. But this is I'm feeling it on this one.
Yeah, and the Chargers are -3. That's their thing.
So it's a pick 'em.
And pick them. Interesting. So
I
Jordan?
Vegas is rolling with me.
Yeah, Vegas is rolling Vegas. Jordan, Closes off here.
You see, I would go with the Raiders and give us the traditional Jaclyn Kyle versus Jeremy Jordan split, but they looked so pathetic against the Dolphins last week. They should have lost that game. They had no business winning that game. And I don't know. There's just something about the Raiders that I know that they're eventually going to plateau and then dumpster
Agreed.
dive. And I
But
don't know
this week
when
is
it
not
is.
that week, Jordan.
It's so tough. I'm still trying to talk myself one way or another while I'm buying myself time here. Screw it. I'm gonna take the Raiders. Give us the split.
Yes,
Whatever.
there it is.
Love
there
the
it is.
split. And that's going to do it for our Sundays and Mondays slate, except for the big game, of course, which Jeremy always gets to do. And
Blaine
could there
Gabbert
be?
returning to New England?
I was going to say, could there be a bigger? I think this arguably could be the biggest regular season game in NFL history. And that's
Did you
very
guys hear
biased
what-
of me to
did you-
say.
did you
but
guys-
It'll
did you
rival
guys-
some Super Bowls in terms of viewership, I think.
Probably.
Did you guys hear what's happening tomorrow? NBC Nightly News and the Today Show, both broadcasting from Gillette Stadium. First time ever, I think, that they've moved. The circus has come to Foxborough. The media is all over the place. I was hearing a couple of beat writers talk about it today. They've been asked the same question like 37 times about the Brady-Bill relationship, and they just won't stop. Because guess what? Yeah, some dude, some jamoke is coming back into Foxborough this week. I guess he spent a couple of decades here, maybe as like a painter or something. Then he moved away. Now he's back.
Yeah, his
Went
name's
to-
Johnny Foxborough.
Exactly. So Tom Brady coming back to
Is Kyle
New
Brady
England
back?
for the last time, I think we can say, in playing uniform. The only time that he would be able to come back is if the Patriots and the Bucs finish in the same place division-wise, and they end up like first, second, third, or fourth, and then they get their random conference alignment for that extra game, that 17th game. That's why the Patriots have the Cowboys this year. They could get the Bucs in that. Otherwise, not going to happen because the Patriots travel to Tampa Bay in 4 years. So enjoy it, folks. This is going to be the last time you see Tom Brady step on Gillette Stadium turf in all likelihood.
Yeah, who knows?
I think it goes without saying that the Bucs have the better team right now. I did see Jordan actually respond to a tweet today, and I wanted to talk about this before we get into the game picks. Who has the better coaching staff in this game? Jordan, I'm going to let you lead because I know I'm pretty sure I saw you tweet about this.
Yeah.
I saw it and thought it was an interesting debate point, so I'm interested to hear what everyone thinks here.
Yeah, I think we need to first, and Merloni clarify this, because originally I was like, the Patriots, Arians versus Belichick, but it's coaching staff. And I think the Patriots own the advantage in terms of the head coaching spot.
By a lot.
I don't think they have a better coaching staff, though. I don't. I think offensively, Brady is basically the OC of the Bucs. I don't think Byron Leftwich is really all that much better than McDaniels. I think Brady audibles just as frequently as he did here, because he's basically the best offensive coordinator of all time. It comes down to the defense, and Todd Bowles is an absolute G at being a defensive coordinator. Not the best head coach. Fantastic DC. Steve Belichick sucks ass as a defensive coordinator.
Such a boob.
And Gerard Mayo, I don't know how much say he has in the defensive play calling. Not
he
much
should get
better.
more.
He should get more, but I don't think he's much better. So I would side with the Bucs having the better coaching staff, but I think the Patriots obviously hold a significant edge in terms of head coaching.
Does anyone disagree with his logic there? Anyone have any counterpoints? Because I do agree. I was interested to see if anybody else. So they're both shaking their heads for the people listening.
Nah, I think I agree.
Yeah, I do too. I think it's sad to say that at this point because the Patriots have had a lot of venerable defensive coordinators go through the ranks here, but the defense is just not up to snuff, and I think Steve Belichick is most of the reason why.
Also, one of these teams employs Matt Patricia.
Yeah,
So
that's not even, you don't even get a little bit added there. That's just a net negative. So whatever advantage you may have had with Belichick gets negated because Matt Patricia's his personal lapdog right now. All right, in terms of the game itself, interested to see what you guys think. I heard Tony Maz come up with this earlier. I thought it was pretty funny. How should the Patriots go about defending Brady, especially with no Stephon Gilmore? Maz's solution? Play 8 defensive backs and 3 down linemen, make them run every single down, lose 31-10, and call it a day, which I thought was incredibly funny. But honestly, the 8 DBs is not a bad idea. I don't know if they have 8 DBs on the roster, but it's not a bad idea.
Julian Edelman comes out of retirement to play corner.
To play corner.
Yeah, seriously.
Hey, N'Keal Harry returned to practice this week.
Oh,
He can
good.
play DB.
Do you want
He's
him at
tall.
DB? You know
maybe.
what? I'm willing to give him a chance on that one. Let's see what he does.
On the Miami Miracle play. They can try
Hey,
N'Keal Harry.
I mean, I'll
It's
say
a
it in
safety.
support of N'Keal Harry. When N'Keal Harry is out there, he does not get targeted a lot. So if he was
Ooh,
theoretically a
lockdown.
corner,
Put him on Mike Evans. Put him on Mike Evans.
and maybe Mike Evans won't get targeted
Now put him on
Could be
Gronk,
interesting.
actually.
because we know Brady didn't like throwing to Harry. So
Put
if
him on
Harry's
Gronk.
out there on defense, he's probably not going to throw to that guy.
Hey, that's
point.
not fair. He threw to him 7 times against Tennessee. Only Edelman got targeted more.
Wow.
Wow. All right,
Wow, he targeted him the most, and how did that game go?
Very poorly, but also Brady had
33 to
elbow time
13,
on
I
Evans.
believe.
No, that was the Titans game. That wasn't that bad.
I thought it was.
No,
I'm
the
pretty sure they
playoffs?
blew him out. Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. I thought we were talking about the regular season like 3 years ago. So I guess defending Brady, it's not going to be. It's obviously not going to be a cakewalk, but is there any hope of this Patriots defense shutting down, at least limiting this Buccaneers offense? Does anybody have anything on that?
I mean, mine would be kind of like my X factor. I don't know if we want to get into that.
We can get into it. That's fine.
And it is gonna be my boy. I'm now adopting him as my boy because I've loved watching him play so much, and I don't know if he even is playing. Josh Uche. Hopefully he will be in the game. He has been really the only player so far on the Pats that has shown like the ability to get to the passer or get to the quarterback very consistently, and that's really the only way that they're going to be able to disrupt this Bucs team is if they can make Brady have to panic. Obviously, it's Brady. He's still going to find a way to complete the pass, but if you can at least wreak havoc in the pocket a little bit, you might be able to get something done for him. And I think Uche is probably, I mean, Judon obviously too, but Judon has been a little inconsistent, while Uche, when he's played, has been consistently very good. And I think they missed him a lot last week.
Jaclyn, do you have an X factor for this game here that you have ready? All right, here we go.
Kind of a non-conventional one.
All right.
I think Jake Bailey is the X factor. I think field position is going to win you this game. If he can turn it back to last year, basically, of pinning people inside the 5, pinning Tom Brady inside the 5, granted, he will get out of that situation. It will still be better than having him start at the 30, 25, 30, 40. And I think that
the Pats will be punting a lot.
Well, yeah, the Pats will be punting a lot because clearly the Pats can't get it to go downfield at all. And then when they're in the red zone, they can't score unless it's like a field goal. And who the heck knows who's kicking this week?
Brett
Nick
Maher.
Folk is hurt.
Apparently, Folk is going to be okay to go.
Okay.
Man, Maher must have sucked at practice then.
Yeah.
Jordan,
Bring back the
X factor.
YouTube kicker.
Honestly. Mine's going to be on the offensive side of the ball. I think Jonnu Smith is going to have to be the X factor in this game. Maybe he was so bad last week. Like
The old Bill play, make them suck so badly they forget to cover him because they go, oh, Stonehands ain't catching the ball, and then he goes off for $120 and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, exactly. And I think they should use him like they did, like the Titans did. Put him in motion, create some sort of confusion, throw him the ball, let him break tackles, let him run the ball on jet sweeps. I think he's going to have a big game. Whether or not that has an ultimate impact on the final score, I have no idea, but I think he'll pop off for a huge game this week.
All right, my X factor is Christian Barmore, and here's why: the only way to get Tom Brady uncomfortable is to rush the pocket and rush it from the inside. He's not like Mahomes. He's not going to roll out to his right and complete some insane throw 40 yards downfield to Tyreek Hill. He works best if the edge rushers are coming up the sides and he can step up in the pocket. Don't let him step up in the pocket if you're Christian Barmore. He's got to be a factor. And the other thing, the one way to beat Tom Brady that we know works is that pass rush combined with making him go 10-plus plays on every scoring drive, because that's exactly what the Rams did last week. Brady threw for over 400 yards and didn't turn the ball over, and they lost because the Rams made him string together play after play after play, and it didn't work. The Bucs offense likes to be explosive. They want that over-the-top passing game. Get pressure on him, force him to dink and dunk, which he still doesn't like to do at heart. He wants to complete that 50-yard bomb. And please, for the love of God, don't let Antonio Brown catch a touchdown, or I'm offing myself and throwing myself off the 4th floor of my building, because that would be
Yeah, seriously.
atrocious.
Yikes.
I'm okay if Gronk catches a touchdown, I guess.
I mean,
don't
I'd be
want
okay with that
Antonio
because of
Brown
my
getting
fantasy
anything.
team, but
If Antonio Brown catches a touchdown, I mean, I may be on life support the next morning.
it's all right. I will be there with you, and I will be there to put you out of your misery, and then probably following myself with it as well.
Thank you. All right, we've built this up for a long time. Honestly, I feel like when he left the Patriots and signed with the Buccaneers, everybody knew that he was going to be coming to Foxborough this year. So this date's been circled for a long time. And I, for one, cannot wait for this game to get here. I wanted to, and I was telling these two, Kyle, I want Michelle Tafoya's mic sitting right up Belichick's snout as he gives him Brady that post-game handshake and embrace and says something to him, because I need to know what he says. I need to know, because that's going to be it's going to look like a presidential motorcade went by with the amount of people going around. Do you guys remember when Tiger Woods won that major a couple of years ago? Not the Masters,
Yes.
but it was that first one that he won when he was coming back, and he's going up the 18th green, and there was just mobs of people. Me and Jordan watched that one live together.
You mean Goosebumps moment?
Yes, it was like the
I
Honda
took a
Classic or
video.
something.
I took a video of that on my phone. Just came up on my Snapchat memories like 2 days ago.
I was watching that in the dining hall on my phone.
It was insane, and that's exactly what it's going to be like around Gillette, on the field, after the game. It's going to be a circus. That's exactly how I described it at the beginning. That's how exactly we're going to end it. So, picks. Is anybody going to pick the Patriots in this game? Now, I would like to remind people what happened in the Sunday night game last year against the Ravens. Jordan was the only one to take the Patriots. He got it right. I wonder if we can get a 3-1 split on this. I'm going to start. I'm going to be taking the Bucs. I said it in the chat earlier. Nothing that this Patriots team has done has improved from week 1. Not a single area of this team has gotten better, and that includes special teams. So therefore, there is no logic that would tell me that the Bucs aren't going to win this game. I want it to be competitive, so I'm going to predict a close one. I'm going to be taking the Bucs 31-28 in a thriller, because primetime games have not disappointed so far this year. And I hope that we get another one. It'll break my heart if they lose, but I would trade a hell of a lot of things in this life if they could win the game.
Don't make me go next.
Okay.
I'll go
Jaclyn.
next.
Oh, Kyle, my bad. All right, I'll let Kyle
I will
go
be
here.
taking the Bucs by a. I think the Pats will be able to hang in there. I think the final score will be 56-10 Bucs. I think the Bucs are going to absolutely steamroll this team. Nothing the Pats have shown me so far gives me any hope that they're going to be able to hang on in this game. I'm probably being a little overdramatic here, but holy crap, I would pick them to win 77-0 if I didn't think that the offense might be able to do something. This is going to be a bloodbath of the highest degree, mostly because, and I think this is probably going to happen because the Bucs lost last week. And Brady's going to be pissed that they lost. The rest of the team's going to be fired up.
That was probably the worst case scenario for Patriots
The rest
fans.
of the team's going to be fired up, but Brady was already going to be fired up. He's going to have the fact they lost. He's going to come back in with, I mean, it doesn't seem like he has. At least he's not. He specifically has not presented a ton of bad blood. But you got to know deep down there's got to be some there. And I remember I heard someone at work was saying, oh, I don't think it's going to be that much of a blowout because I think Brady respects Belichick too much, which I'm like,
If you respect him, you'd absolutely spank the balls
He's gonna
off of him.
hang him. He's gonna hang on him. It's just gonna be ugly. I don't even really know if I want to watch this, but I will.
If you did respect Belichick like that, you would do that because that's what he taught you to do.
That's
is
true.
Go for the
That's
kill.
true. That's true. I don't think it's going to be close. The Pats had a year to prepare for this game, and they look even less prepared than they would have if they played him last year.
Jaclyn, I'm going to let Jordan finish up so you can go here.
Yep, I am also taking the Bucs. Unfortunately.
All right, Jordan, it's all on you.
I will be taking the Bucs 35 to 20. Hold on, doing the math here. To 27.
8-point game. Just like it was against the Saints until they scored that late garbage time touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Jordan, round us off. We're putting you in a hell of a position, I know. I'm hoping that your luck will carry the day because this would be a great one to get right. What do you got?
Pausing for dramatic effect. Screw it. Patriots are going to win this game.
Yes!
They're absolutely going to win this game. I think Matthew Judon is going to wreak absolute havoc in the backfield on Tom Brady.
He was pissed off today, wasn't he?
Yes, he was. He got asked like 92
I don't blame him.
questions. He got asked like
He
92
wasn't here
questions
for
about
it. Why
Brady.
should he have to answer?
He's like, yeah, I loved getting my bag beaten in by Tom Brady in the playoffs that one year. Oh, great, awesome. You know what he's going to do? He's going to have 3 sacks on Sunday. He's going to also factor into a sack by pushing Brady to roll left and right into Dietrich Wise, who's going to have a sack. They're going to sack Brady 5+ times. They're
Can
not going to
Uche
pick
get
him
some
off
of
once. Uche is going to get one of them
Yes.
if he plays. If not, I think Hightower will finally factor into the box score.
And Chase Winovich,
And the
because
Patriots.
Chase will be mad that he cut his hair that one time.
And the New
Ronnie
England Patriots,
Perkins will get a sack.
And the New England Patriots are going to win by a final score of 21-14.
Oh.
Do you
Dogfight.
think they can hold the Bucks to under 30 points?
I mean, they
don't
did to
think
the Chiefs last year.
So-
and with the COVID game, with
That's fair.
with
Didn't they
Brian
have
Hoyer
Gilmore?
and Jarrett Stidham giving them a short field, they had Gilmore, but they also played the Chiefs.
Look at what former Belichick coaches have done against Brady the first couple of times that they've faced him, and this time it's actually Belichick himself. The Lions, that crap Lions team, managed to beat the Patriots last time around in
God, I
Detroit.
forgot about
all those
that.
years ago. Yeah, I tried to block out that
Ugh.
game. It got brought up again when I found out that Robert Kraft called his coach the biggest effing a-hole of all time and an
I don't know
idiot
if
savant
that's
today.
correct, though.
Seth Wickersham
I'm just
can kiss
I'm
the
relaying
underside of
quotes.
my
All right,
ass.
we're
I
not
hate
getting
that
into the
man.
book because we've already hit over an hour.
Yeah.
Last notes on this game. This Bucks defense, last in sack percentage. Maybe that'll help the Patriots O-line. Who knows? They're heading in and probably going to keep Ramondre Stevenson and J.J. Taylor active. Interesting to see how the running back reps get divvied up along with Brandon Bolden and Damian Harris. And finally, N'Keal Harry coming off of IR. Will he play? Will they stick with more 3 wide receiver sets instead of the 2 tight ends that they had been favoring against the Saints? When they use 3 wide receivers, they move the ball better, especially with Kendrick Bourne. All right. That'll do
Matthew
it for
Slater
us.
scores the game-winning touchdown for the Patriots.
Good God.
That's my prediction.
Block
I
punt.
hope everybody out
No,
there is
receiving.
going to enjoy the living crap out of this game. I know I will. I think 3 of us may all be in the same room for it, and we will be very, very happy if the Patriots manage to pull it off. So, for Kyle, Jaclyn, and Jordan, I'm Jeremy. Enjoy the Week 4 slate. We will see you on Monday, hopefully not to talk about a Patriots avalanche against the Bucks, as Kyle predicted. Have a good one, everybody.